Papa Jupe. And now that you know his story...
Hello!
Fred's son drags him out to the longest backyard and beats his head with a tire
Bam!
iron. Just like
Bam!
Papa did to him.
Bam! Hey guys, my name's Dan, and this reaction comes from Dead Meat. This is the Hills Have Eyes 1977 kill count. Now, I'm gonna be fully transparent with you guys here. I don't want to lie, and I don't want to protect myself from what I can only imagine would be a lot of internet hate here, but when I saw this movie originally, I thought it was the original, but it was the remake. So I didn't see this movie, this version, the original version of it, until I saw it was announced on the kill count. I was like, wait a minute. There is an original to this one, and I felt, and still feel so stupid for not knowing it, but it didn't stop me from really appreciating it and really just going through it and realizing just the history behind it and all that. And I'm really excited now to learn even more about it through this video. I can only imagine, because there are some horror stories that I wasn't really a huge fan of, but I'm sure James will get into it at some point. If not, I'll cover it in the outro of this video. But either way, I'm very excited to see what James has to say about it. But before we get into it, though, please check all those links I have for you down in the description below. More specifically, Dead Meat's link if you haven't already. It's a great way to support the entire Dead Meat team. And a great and easy way to support me is to go right below this video and click all those buttons down there, because I want to let you see future reactions that I do, but also helps my channel to grow. And without any further ado, let's go.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up
Ooh,
the
nice
victims of all
outfit
our
there,
favorite horror
James.
movies and show you how they were made. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at the original The Hills Have Eyes, released in 1977. Hills Have Eyes was written, directed, and edited by Wes Craven.
Ah,
7
the
years before he
legend!
created our favorite nightmare demon, Freddy Krueger, and nearly 20 years before he
Yeah,
directed
baby.
Scream. Even so, this wasn't Craven's first film. In 1972, after leaving his job as a college professor, he made the highly disturbing Last House on the Left. It was a rape revenge exploitation film that proved pretty successful despite its budget of less than $100,000. This follow-up may not be quite as extreme as Last House, but Hills is still an uncompromising film, featuring animal death, cannibalism, and more sexual assault. Filmed on location in the Mojave Desert, it follows the Carter family as their car breaks down on their way to Los Angeles. Stranded, they fall victim to an inbred family of cannibals based on the Scottish legend of Sawney Bean, which is always the most fucked up basis you can have for a story. It's why Jack Ketchum's Off-Season is still one of the darkest horror novels I've ever read.
I don't want to read it.
Misery, the movie has thematic through lines, such as the economic disparity of rural communities and the disconnect they feel when faced with their suburban mirror images. It also features solid performances, with a cast that includes future horror legends Dee Wallace and Michael Berryman. Hills would be a sequel in 1985, written and directed by Craven, and a 2006 remake that you may be more familiar with, which is a sequel the following year. I'd love to look at them sometime, but right now we're just sticking with the original, given to us by a master of horror.
Hell
this movie
yeah.
is messed up for...
What?
Almost as messed up as this intro now, thank you!
What the hell?
Hey man, are you
Oh,
good?
Papa James!
Oh, sorry. It's just TikTok keeps telling me I exist in the context of all that came before, but I don't know what came before. Oh, well, what a coincidence. I've actually just partnered with MyHeritage for this video, so I can learn more about my family history. Oh,
okay.
Cool. But MyHeritage lets me build out my family tree, and then with instant discoveries connects me with the site's 90 million users. It's already found 90
Oh, that's
connections
fun.
between my tree and others that I can use to add info to my tree. Plus, I can search 20 billion historical documents for records of my family. Yeah, that's great. It's just like this picture of my dad from his 1971 yearbook at Catholic Central High School in Detroit. And MyHeritage colorized the original black and white photo for me with their photo features. Or this 1918 World War I draft record for my great-grandfather. You can even see it identifies him as Russian, since Poland didn't gain independence till the next year.
Oh, wow!
Look, that's great for you and all, but I don't have family history. I'm a puppet. Oh.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I consider you family, Puppet James. That weird, murderous family that keeps trying to take over my life. You can't prove that, but family nonetheless. So you and anyone can start researching your family history by signing up for a 14-day free trial using the link in the description or scanning the QR code. This movie is messed up for way more reasons than the kills, but that doesn't mean we can't still count them.
Oh boy, we're gonna get into it.
The movie begins with opening credits that almost look like comic book panels. I like it. We're in deserted ass, run down like a motherfucking Nevada. Place looks like Ernest Burkhart swept through town. Old man Fred, who owns a gas station, is sick of this shit and sick of his hill people neighbors.
You folks have to go rob a goddamn Air Force PX for God's sakes?
Ruby's not like the rest of her family and hates the desert almost as much as she likes spiking the camera. Fred ain't sympathetic.
Take me with you.
What?
Dude straight up hacks a lung out at the idea. A lot of
It
stories
sure
feature
does.
folk intruding into and being hunted in rural environments. But Hills Have Eyes is interesting in that we meet some of the rural characters first. Our suburbanites arrive in no time. The Carter family from Cleveland, Ohio. There's retired cop Big Bob, loving mom Ethel,
Big Bob.
and their 3 kids. Daughters Lynn and Brenda, and son and Bob parent Bobby. Oh man, he's a Buckeye. Older daughter Lynn
Yeah,
also
apparently
has her own
so.
daughter, baby Katie, with her
More
husband Doug,
enemies of
being
those from
beasts in
Michigan.
short shorts. The Beasts are their 2 German shepherds, Beauty and, well, Beast. The Carters want to
Beauty
visit a silver
and the
mine, but Fred
Beast.
tells them to go on and get. This place is a damn Air Force testing site or something. And, oh yeah, there'll be cannibals in them hills.
You folks go right to California and have a good trip.
They won't. Big Bob
No.
immediately ignores
No,
Fred's
they
instructions
won't.
and gets his family
Oh,
lost
God.
in the desert. Good job, Big Bob, you big boob.
All right, everybody, shut up, that's it.
I'm sorry, Bob. What was that?
All right, everybody, shut up, that's it.
Did you say, all right, everybody sits up the chit?
All right, everybody, shut up, that's it.
What's a chit, Bob?
I thought maybe it was just trying to say that's it there at the end. I'm not sure what he said before that. I guess just to get him to stop it.
In no time at all, we see the very creepy coordination of the hill people from afar.
Mama, Pluto, you say a station wagon and a trailer?
That's what Mercury said, if you can believe him.
But they don't need to worry about stopping the Carters. They're done in by a low-flying military jet and a rabbit in the road. It causes Bob to
Whoopsie.
crash the family car and ends their precious little field trip pretty damn quick. With their car
Ha!
snapped, the Carters are sitting ducks.
Like
They
that
didn't know
reference.
it yet. Look at Bobby with the backflips. Damn, man. You a gymnast or something? Meanwhile, Big Bob's just flipping mad. Dude's an angry cop with a violent past.
I'm even shot at on 2 separate occasions by my own men.
Wait, what? Why were people trying to frag you, Bob? They get sick of being told to sit up the chip?
Shut up, that's it.
He decides to take his dog and walk
Maybe.
the 15 miles back to Fred's gas station. Doug will go by himself the other way and see what he finds. The women will stay back with Bobby and another gun.
Good. Easy pickings now.
I don't know about that, dude. You ever fight a gymnast with a gun before? Bullets be flying all over the place. Hills Have Eyes has just as much heart as eyes, because the Carter family is nice and loves each other. Even though they kind of laugh about a time that Beast killed someone else's pet poodle.
Oh boy, was that lady ever fit to be tied.
Was Daddy ever mad? He had to pay vet bills for a dead poodle.
Yeah, let's laugh about a dead dog. Cool.
What the fuck's the matter with you?
I don't know!
Hearing about Beast's beastly past, so she runs off into the hills. She attacks somebody, but then Bobby hears her yelp, and by time he buckeyes her, she's dead. Someone yells and scares Bobby away.
Hate that!
While he's hauling ass back to the RV, he eats shit and knocks himself out. Womp womp. Craven was reluctant to do another horror film after doing Last House on the Left.
I resisted until I was broke.
Hills had a budget of $300,000. 3 times
need
what
money!
they did for Last House, but still basically nothing. To keep costs down, Craven wrote a story with a tiny cast. They rented their cameras from a pornographer and used an inexperienced non-union crew of only about a dozen people.
Not really knowing a great deal about, exactly what we were doing.
As the sun sets, the day's sweltering heat gives way to frigid desert cold. Bobby finally gets back, looking like someone killed his dog, but he doesn't tell the others what he saw. They tell him about a dirty radio call they got.
That's probably not something
What the hell
for
was that?
Wow,
baby's
things get
ears.
naughty as soon as the sun goes down. It's like the Girls Gone Wild commercial of the desert. Bobby comes outside
Ah!
to find Beast missing, and even worse, Doug is back. At least he's got cable wire.
Look at all of this. I mean, it's no wonder we're paying higher taxes. They're throwing this stuff away.
Okay then. Bobby tries to tell Doug about Beauty's demise, but can't because those gosh darn women are always around. And Bobby ain't about to tell them shit. His grown-ass sisters might as well be this terrified-looking baby. Why is that kid so scared?
I
Big Bob
don't
gets to the
know.
gas
It
station
really
and
does
finds a
look
drunken
scared,
Fred,
though.
who tells him all about what's going on. See, back in the 1920s, when this town was new and bustling, Fred had a happy life with a wife and daughter. But then his wife gave birth to a monstrous son who popped out 20 pounds and hairy. Kid kept killing animals and shit, then burned down Fred's house with his wife and daughter inside.
That could somehow come into play maybe later on.
Well, little baby girl was a cinder when I found her, but this monster kid wasn't even singed. I knew he'd done it. I hit him with a tire iron and I split his face wide open.
I really love John Stedman as Fred. He's got perfect crazy old man energy. Fred tried to ditch the kid by dropping him off in the desert, but he survived and kidnapped a woman and started a dirty desert clan with her. He became known as Jupiter, or Papa Jupe. And now that you know his story...
Hello!
Fred's son drags him out to the longest backyard and beats his head with a tire
Bam!
iron. Just like
Bam!
Papa did to him.
Bam!
Ago. The
Bam!
Decider is gone by the time Bob gets outside and finds Fred's body adorned on a door. Adorned door. Papa
Damn
Jupe's
it,
family
Bobby.
of people eaters was heavily inspired by the legend of Sawney Bean. The Scottish tale concerns a prolific family of cannibalistic cave dwellers. Craven found it interesting that when they were caught, they were executed via gruesome torture.
And I just thought, wow, what a great kind of A-B of culture. You know, how the most civilized can be the most savage, and the most savage can be the most civilized.
With Hills Have Eyes, he explored that theme of civilized people being broken down to their base instincts. It happens to a comfortable middle-class family, the mirror image of the hill people abandoned by society. Big Bob starts running back to his family, but dude, you're 15 miles away, and it ain't easy to run while getting hit with savage mockery.
Nope.
You son of a bitch.
Might as well hit the dirt and start shooting randomly. When that genius plan fails to do anything, Big Bob comes face to face with Papa Jupe. He stuffs dead dog into Big Bob's big mouth, nailing him to a cross. Goddamn. Lynn and Doug leave the camper for some station wagon tallywhacking, not noticing when the gas gets siphoned by Michael Berryman. He plays Pluto, one of Jupe's sons, who sneaks inside the RV and locks the door while Bobby's lured out into the desert by dog noises. They're being done by Mars, another son, with perfect precision as an extra layer of psychological torture.
Come on.
Pluto starts raiding them for weapons, food, and Coca-Cola. Dude really took a storage crate and held F. Bobby gets back and finally tells Doug and Lynn the truth.
Beauty's been dead since this afternoon.
Robert Houston gives Bobby a nice full character and plays being confused and scared really well.
I was so scared, I ran away.
The family's isolation feels authentic because it was. They filmed in Apple Valley in the Mojave Desert, way the fuck in the middle of nowhere. They literally picked it at random on a map and were warned against shooting there by locals.
You go out there, you'll die.
Conditions were unsurprisingly harsh.
There were a lot of ways to get hurt out there. I mean,
Sure.
everything had spines and spikes and burrs.
They filmed 12-hour days and 6-day weeks. To
Yikes!
make the movie, they had to live the movie, meaning boiling temperatures during the day and freezing temperatures at night. Not to mention all the wind, dirt, and dust.
You're all dirty and gritty, and then you're crunching on your sandwich.
Though he never complained, Michael Berryman probably had it the worst. His dad was a Navy surgeon exposed to radiation at Hiroshima. That caused him to be born with hypohydrotic ectodermal dysplasia, which gave him birth defects, including a lack of sweat glands. Berryman's distinctive look is why he was cast here, but his kindness and intelligence is why he's managed to sustain a career that still continues today, well into his 70s.
Hell yeah,
Bobby
dude.
can get back inside the RV, Pluto uses the radio to call for a giant explosion. The family hears Big Bob screaming from the desert, ushering Ethel and the others to run off towards him. After they're gone, Mars hops down, looking like a Gogan. But he and Pluto ain't here to give the happiest home in these hills have eyes. They're here for much more depraved reasons. Pluto starts to rape Brenda, while Mars nonchalantly eats raw meat. Then he makes a meal of the family bird. Don't worry, sell it to that blind kid in Dumb and Dumber. This is possibly the most upsetting scene in this very upsetting movie. And it gets even worse when Mars spots baby Katie.
Baby's fat. You fat. Fat and juicy.
Oh, come on. It was one of the first things they shot, and Craven was grateful to actress Susan Lanier for finding a way to break the tension.
I had secretly whispered to Michael, when he calls action, let's really make out. And then they throw back the curtain. There was Michael and I doing this very romantic love scene.
The others find that big bomb,
Wow.
big blob of fire. For that explosion, production torched a Joshua tree, even though they're protected. I mean, they shot the whole damn thing without any permits or permission, of course. The family takes Bob's big charred body down,
As you
but
do.
it really messes up Ethel. She's sent into hysterics at the sight of her toasty spouse. Lynn takes her mom away, and Bobby runs off into the night with his gun. That leaves friggin' Doug, the only one to witness Big Bob's last breath. The ladies
Bye-bye,
get
Big
back to
Bob.
the RV, where they come across Mars mid-baby napping. They try to sweep up the area's crime, but Mars just shoots Ethel in the gut. Then he turns the gun on Lynn and shoots her too. And though she gets a stab in, he kills her with a second gunshot. Sucks to see Dee Wallace go out like that. While she's a seasoned kill count vet now, this was only the then 29-year-old's second film.
Hills really is the start of my,
professional career.
Pluto takes the baby like a Mojave dingo, and Mars tee-hees away as Bobby shoots after him. Doug has a mini meltdown over his dead wife, but finds his mother-in-law still living. Let's just hope he wasn't too attached to the bird. These people are so out of their element and in complete disbelief. The performances and filmmaking really sell their shock.
Where's the kids? Bed yet?
Yeah, Brenda's right here, and Bobby's in the kitchen.
As unforgiving as the movie is, it was almost even worse. They had to cut a bunch of stuff after the original version was rejected due to, quote, wretched excess.
In your face X. It was just plain old goddamn X coming at you X.
Wow.
With the baby secured, Pluto and Mars radio into their eye in the sky. It's their little brother Mercury, the comedian of the crew.
Maybe I make a joke like last time and eat the toes.
Ha, great material, Merc. The Beast just showed up, and he ain't a fan of dead baby jokes, so he pushes the lookout from his perch.
Bye-bye.
Mercury, smile at least. You can't say no to the fury of the Beast. Mercury was played by producer Peter Locke in a cameo, a friend of Craven's who convinced him to do the movie by putting up the money. He suggested the desert setting in the first place, and was a very hands-on producer, suffering the conditions alongside the rest of the cast and crew.
Well,
Beast
that's
goes
good,
from
at
good
least,
boy to best boy.
I guess.
Hold up, is that dog about to use a radio? I mean, almost. He trots it back to his family and allows them to hear the Jupe clan communicate. The boys bring the baby back like a Thanksgiving turkey to their parents, Papa and Mama Jupe. Also, their sister Ruby, whom we saw trying to leave. That's why Mama Jupe don't like her.
Maybe dog's too good for a runaway slut like you.
Moms say the darndest things.
They sure do, don't they?
Provided by art director Bob Burns. Burns had worked on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a big inspiration for Craven, and even recycled some of that movie's bones and other materials for this one. The clan gets concerned when they can't reach Mercury on the radio, so Papa Jupe sends Pluto out to find him. Pluto finds Mercury dead, so Papa Jupe promises the burnt body of Big Bob that he's gonna kill his family as revenge.
Come out here and stick your life in my face? That was a bad mistake. I thought you were smart and tough.
It's a good and scary monologue for the big bad, done with a mouthful of burnt Big Bob. The meat was actually a leg of lamb roast on set, and the hungry actors were more than happy to dig into it. As
Sure.
night gives way to dawn, the sun begins to rise on another funky day. I feel like Isaac Hayes is about to roll up in this bitch. He's driving a hearse, though.
Yeah,
Tyler is
actually.
Dead by dawn. You know, something tells me this vacation isn't going to turn itself around.
No,
Jupe
it's
and Pluto
not.
are on the move, stopping only to radio in crank calls.
We are recommending that till we can get to you, you stand on your head.
Stand on our heads. That's code.
Just stand on your heads with your thumbs up.
Man, the humiliation never stops for these poor folk.
Nope.
Thankfully, they've got Beast, and Doug, I guess, who releases Beast as he reaches the Jupe camp in hopes of saving his baby. Beast immediately makes for a good soldier, tackling Pluto and
Bam!
jumping into the former planet. Beast drags him out of his orbit and bites into his neck, then tears at him
Bye-bye!
until Pluto bleeds out. In addition to Sawney Bean and the Grapes of Wrath, Craven took inspiration from Roman mythology. He named the Pharaoh family members after planets, and used it as a basis for their relationships. For instance, Mars is bloodthirsty and also terrified of his father Jupiter. Ruby's name doesn't follow the convention. Craven said she was the gem of the family. Jupiter radios for Mars to kill the baby, but when Ruby hands it over, it's just a pig in a blanket. Like the snack food. It gets Mars so mad, he turns into a Kaiser Chief.
Ruby?
Every actor had to cry during their audition, but Janice Blythe got the part of Ruby by beating other actresses in a foot race. When Ruby runs into Doug, she gives him his baby back and joins up with him. As brutal as this movie may be, the baby was always going to be okay.
There was a
Hell
phrase
yeah.
that went around the cast and crew: if you kill the baby, we're leaving.
Bobby and Brenda set up a trap using their dead mom and all that cable Doug found. I guess you did good, Doug. Sorry for ragging on you. They're able to ensnare Papa Jupe and drag him across the ground, but then the cable breaks. Damn it, Doug! And he comes after them on foot. They set up an ingenious little trap with the RV full of gas and a match-striking alarm system. Jupe is cautious, but the thing blows up anyway. And production only had one trailer, and thus one chance to blow it up.
You knew that was the end of the movie because they weren't going to go buy another one.
Before the
No,
kids can celebrate
I would
too
imagine
much,
not.
the King of Planets attacks Bobby and freaking scoop slams him.
Bam!
And Bobby team up though, and the kid shoots Papa Jupe down to the ground. Huh, I thought he'd be the last one standing. But he's not. Mars is, who's currently chasing after Doug and Ruby. She hides in a hole with the baby while Mars chases Doug into a crevasse. They get into a fight and Mars is coming out on top when Ruby saves the day with a rattlesnake, using it to bite her brother in the neck. That was an actual
That's
venomous
stone
snake
cold.
life had to pick up. It wasn't defanged or milked or nothing. Doug decides to work faster than Venom and stabs Mars to death with vigor and persistence. He's like little Tommy Jarvis swinging away there. He even
Sure
gets his own
is.
freeze frame. And it's red. And then the movie ends. Oh, okay. How many kills were in these hills? Let's find out and get to...
That's good stuff.
There were 8 kills in The Hills Have Eyes, with the victims consisting of 6 men, 2 women, and no babies. That's a
No
clean
babies.
3-to-1 ratio of due to late
Little.
victims. We've only seen this count and breakdown twice before on the show, in The Babysitter and The Exorcist 3. With a runtime of 90 minutes, The Hills Have Eyes had a kill on average every 11.25 minutes. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to Big Bob! I mean, a real Joshua Tree died for it to happen. I feel like I've got to honor it somehow. Dome Machete for lamest kill will go to Ethel Carter, who took 1 bullet but an entire night to die. That is a drawn-out Dome Machete. And that's it. The Hills Have Eyes came out in 1977 and struggled at the box office thanks to Smokey and the Bandit. Damn you, Burt Reynolds! We kick off October with a return to the VHS series and 2 kill counts a week.
Oh, snap.
Best luck. Until then, I'm James H. Reese. This has been The
I'm
Kill
sure I'll
Count.
be fine.
Next kill count.
Oh no, they're gonna be so excited to do this again.
Hey, we're the team at Dead Meat Video.
Back with another kill count recommendation.
This week, it's VHS 4.
Oh, that is VHS 94.
No, that's too many!
Ah!
Travel back to 1994 for a wraparound about a SWAT team busting a trippy drug compound.
29.9 means erase the fucking tape.
Looks like someone didn't do their job. This footage is still here for everybody to see. Well, except this guy. Or these guys. They don't have eyes.
We don't need more tech, we need a grave digger. The subject follows the latest experiment of a mad scientist in Indonesia.
Oh dear.
When corrupt cops come to destroy his work, our protagonist goes from POV to COD.
Yup.
Terror sees a group
What
of
happens
white
with
supremacists
COD?
plotting to take down the government. Wait, where are these guys based?
In the infested cesspit of Detroit, Michigan.
They'd better stay away from Lafayette.
Yep.
Not too worried, though. They're a bunch of drunk idiots.
The empty wake takes place in a funeral home on a dark and stormy night. Pretty spooky for the new employee who's stuck watching a client who just won't rest in peace. Good morning, sleepyhead.
Storm Drain sees a news reporter investigating a local legend called the Rat Man. But this breaking news might just break her first.
Oh snap.
Hope it was worth the Pulitzer.
Hail, Ratma.
So this Ratma watched VHS 94.
Then on Ratma.
Hail Ratma for the Ratma count. Only on
On
Ratma.
Ratma. Oh! Oh! No!
VHS 94.
Over
Currently
and
you watch that on
over
the Kids
again.
Stream.
Oh, that's too good. Oh, man. So this was one hell of a movie. I kind of figured it was going to be as disturbing as it was, but then hearing that much more about how basically the whole entire crew didn't really have too much experience, the actors themselves didn't have too much experience, and they did a hell of a job in bringing this whole world to life. I mean, it was super intense and disturbing for so many reasons. One in particular, that's because we did see it blurred out earlier. There is a little story that you guys may or may not know that's I feel like I need to share with you because it is fairly important to understand my hesitancy for watching this movie. So this was brought to my attention before I decided to watch this movie, and if you can't make that out, I'll read it to you. At 22 minutes and 47 seconds, it shows a dead German Shepherd that has been torn apart. Now, normally you would think, oh, it's probably some prosthetic thing, it's something they made. Well, not so much. What sparked this whole thing was one of my subscribers sent me this picture here because he was a little worried considering that, you know, I had a dog who died not too long ago, And it reads as, while the dog was technically dead before filming, the dog corpse shown is an actual euthanized dog that production team bought and ripped apart. If that isn't incredibly messed up, I truly don't know what is. I mean, I know it's the 1970s at all, but goddamn. With all that said, though, I still enjoyed this movie. I did skip over that part because of that, and I didn't want to, sort of relive anything there. But otherwise, it was, like I said, incredibly intense and disturbing, which was the point of the movie. And they very much succeeded in that, and I could see why there was a sequel to it, and then we had a remake later on, which I'm looking forward to them covering, because I think I enjoyed that movie. Honestly, it's been a really long time since I've seen it, but either way, this was good stuff. But that's going to do it for me here. Comment down below. Let me know, what did you think about the original The Hills Have Eyes? Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Please check all those links I have for you down in the description below. Then lastly, and most importantly, I want to give a huge shout out to all my $5 and up supporters on Patreon: Cruising, Wolverine 310, Kester Cronin, Joseph McSweeney, Amber K, Raymond Bright, Chris Curtis, Haley Mastronardi, Ann Perry, Voxacophony, Misa 2, Lily the Snoopy Fan, Lauren, Jenny the Swifty, Fleet Street Vicomte, Emily the Flower Lover, Steffi, Songbird 177, Sophie the Sunset Girl, Summer the Dog Lover, Scott, Misa 3, Arrow Hamster, Inca Linquist, Aubrey the Charlie Brown Lover, ZK Stir, Miri, Lee Harris, Chris Chapin, and Thomas Shawanowit. And if you too like to have a shout out at each and every one of my videos, please head over to patreon.com/TheDamnReactor for more. And I will see you guys next time.